Somewhere, deep beneath the bones of the earth, something was found. A skull. Enormous. Ancient. Unlike anything science had seen before. The villagers who found it didn't call it a fossil. They called it a dragon. Here is the question that has haunted historians for centuries: how did every ancient civilization, on every corner of the globe, with no contact with each other, all tell the same story? In China, a serpentine dragon was the symbol of emperors and heaven itself. In Babylon, the chaos god Tiamat was a great winged serpent. The Norse feared Jormungandr, the world serpent. The Aztecs worshipped Quetzalcoatl, a feathered, flying serpent god. Different languages, different oceans, different centuries, same creature. That is not coincidence. That is a pattern. And patterns have explanations. Long before science gave us paleontology, people were finding enormous bones in the ground. In ancient Greece, philosopher Adrian Mayer documented how fossils of Protoceratops, a dinosaur with a massive hooked beak, discovered in the Gobi Desert, were likely the origin of the griffin legend. But what about dragons specifically? Consider the Mosasaurus, a real sea creature. 60 feet long. Rows of teeth. A jaw that unhinged like a serpent. Its bones have been found across Europe and Asia for thousands of years. Or the Megalania, a real giant monitor lizard that roamed Australia until roughly 40,000 years ago. Possibly within human memory. Ancient people weren't imagining monsters. They were finding real bones and asking the only question they could: what on earth made these? The fire, that's the part that always breaks the skeptic's argument. No animal breathes fire. It's biologically impossible. Or is it? The bombardier beetle generates a boiling, explosive chemical spray from a specialized chamber in its body, a real biological combustion reaction, happening right now in nature. Some researchers have theorized that a large enough reptile, with the right stomach chemistry, think volatile hydrogen compounds produced during digestion, could, theoretically, expel ignitable gas. Did any animal ever do this? Probably not. But here's what's fascinating: ancient people who discovered massive, unknown reptile skeletons near natural gas vents or sulfur springs could absolutely have imagined that they did. Let's be clear about what did exist. Quetzalcoatl, a real pterosaur, had a wingspan of nearly 40 feet, the height of a giraffe. It flew. It was terrifying. Titanoboa, a real snake, stretched over 42 feet long and weighed more than a ton. It lived 60 million years ago. But its bones have been found. Sarcosuchus, a real crocodile, grew to 40 feet. It ate dinosaurs. None of these were dragons. But imagine you are a farmer in ancient China. You pull one of these skulls from the riverbed. You have no textbook, no internet, no museum. You have only fire and fear and a story to tell your children at night. What would you call it? Today, the scientific consensus is clear: no fire-breathing, winged dragon has ever existed on Earth as legend describes it. The anatomy alone makes it nearly impossible. A creature large enough to fly would need hollow bones, dramatically limiting its size. And producing combustible flame requires biological systems we simply haven't found evidence of in the fossil record. But, and this is what scientists quietly find remarkable, the convergence of dragon myths across unconnected cultures does suggest something real at the root. Not a dragon, but something that felt like one. Massive bones in the ground. Enormous creatures in the water. Flying reptiles casting shadows over ancient fields. The dragon was not a lie. It was an answer, the best answer humanity had to evidence it couldn't yet explain. Every culture across history looked at this world and saw something vast, and powerful, and dangerous, lurking just beyond the firelight. Maybe they were wrong about the creature, but they weren't wrong about the feeling. Because that feeling, that there is something ancient and enormous still sleeping beneath the surface of what we know. That feeling has never really left us.